Sprint is up next, and it's one of the 3 races that we looked at on Hong Kong Direct this week as well. Go to the website, Multimedia Showcase. Myself and Steve Moran looking at the 3 Group 2s for the weekend. That's HK Direct. We'll move into the BOCHK Wealth Management Jockey Club Sprint, though, over the 1,200 metres, and iVictory, can he turn around that run last time out behind stablemate Hot King Prawn? Mr. Stunning also coming out of that race, beaten 1 1/4. He was first up for the year, though. DB Pin back first up since January, beat the clocks first up as well. He's unbeaten, 3 from 3 fresh up. 50-50 runner up behind Hot King Prawn, who was winning his second race for the campaign, and again Joe Moreira will be on board, rides him first time on race day. Born in China, Douglas White, and Premier, who's won 7 races for John Size, but they've all been over 1,000 metres. 1,200 at Sha Tin for the first time. He's been up at Chung Fa as well, Premier. Returned, though, on the 19th of October. We're still at the touchscreen to have a look at the speed map for this one, Brett. And as far as the speed is concerned, Hot King Prawn made all last time under Sam Clipperton, who now switches to DB Pin. You assume they'll try and do the same again.
Hot King Prawn's drawn 8, DB Pin's drawn 9. Worth noting that in this race last year, DB Pin actually led them initially and then handed up. But he did show superior pace. So I'm predicting potentially they can cross into 1-2 positions, maybe DB Pin. This is the query horse for me. Obviously, John Size has got a strong hand in the race, and they're all from the same stable. But he is a genuine 1,000-metre horse, Premier. If he sits there, or even Mr. Stunning gets in front of him, I don't think he's got any hope at all, Premier. He's got to jump and run, I would have thought, if he's going to be competitive. So maybe he's up there as well. But I think DB Pin, they'll roll the dice with him from the wider gate, try and cross over with Hot King Prawn. That'll give Mr. Stunning and victory. The run they've been looking for. Beat the clock, serious animal. He's produced some marvellous sectionals first up from the back of the field.
All right, what have you seen in the morning, Paul?
DB Pin, we'll start with him because we haven't seen him for a little while, and you can see him coming down here with a couple of even sectionals, and he strides out nicely enough here. There's no problems with him. He has had these injury issues. Sam Clipperton will take them out, of course. There's a bit of a jockey switcheroo here. He was on Hot King Prawn. Now, this horse has got an amazing fresh-up record, beat the clock, 3 from 3, and he goes really nicely once again here in the morning. Obviously, this is a lot tougher fresh-up, but he still goes well, and he looks primed for a really good run. And 50-50, I thought he went a really good race last time. It was a really good run from him behind Hot King Prawn, and he hasn't taken a backward step. He looks good, and of course, his rolled is here. His rolled Mosse will be riding.
That he is. He will be. He's got decent rides on the undercard as well. Let's start off with Sam Clipperton. They'll be riding DB Pin. Last time we saw DB Pin, he was winning a Group 1. That was back in January, though.
Sam, DB Pin, he hasn't raced since January. You rode him in his most recent trial. What sort of impression did he give you?
Yeah, he gave me a good impression. He's a lovely horse to ride, very professional, and I really liked his trial the other day. He's had 2 trials going into the event. He's had a long time off, and there's going to be a lot of natural improvement there. But I don't think he could be in any better shape for a first-up effort.
Spoke to John on Tuesday, and he said the horse has got a bit of extra weight. That's obviously anticipated, given that he is first up for such a long time. Yeah, definitely.
Like I said, he's obviously hasn't raced for a while, and obviously got that natural improvement there. But you know, he's a real trier. He loves his racing, and I'm sure he'll give us his best effort on Sunday. And the gate makes it a bit difficult. Not sure where I'll end up, but any luck in running, he'll run a positive race.
In Gate 8 next to you was Hot King Prawn, who you won on last time out. How do you line these 2 up?
Well, yeah, 2 very different profile of horses. DB Pin's a proven Group 1 winner, and Hot King Prawn still needs to prove that, but he's ticked all the boxes so far, Hot King Prawn, and he'll run another big race on Sunday.
Did he give you the feel last time, Hot King Prawn, that he was an improving type of horse? He's gone from Group 3 to Group 2, but at handicap level. Now Group 2, but at set weights and penalties.
Yeah, obviously he's an improving horse. He's a real race horse. He's he's as honest as they come, and he's just a very competitive horse, and his record speaks for that. So he's got to raise the bar again, but no doubt he will raise the bar because he has kept raising the bar throughout his whole career. So. Like I said, I'm sure he'll run a big race for his connections.
Yeah, I'm sure DB Pin will as well. We can have a look at DB Pin in action in this trial. Just saw a little bit of it there while Sam was talking, but just to take it in a little bit more, this is Mr. Stunning out in front, and he couldn't look any better, I don't think, Mr. Stunning, heading into this race. DB Pin out wide, and I think the key for DB Pin is finding a rhythm, because we saw him travel wide, cover a lot of ground last year and still win. Victory, is he showing any effects from that last start run, and Premier, the other one of the size runners?
Well, Premier, to be honest, I think you can put the pen through Premier. He's a 1,000-metre horse. He's well out of the handicap. He's a good horse, don't get me wrong, but at set weights in this race over 1,200, I don't think he's in it. Victory, you couldn't have him off the back of last start. And even that first up run where he did run second, he did sprint, but not for that far before he started to weaken a little bit. DB Pin's had 10 months off. That's got to be a concern. He's also had a tendon problem. Mr. Stunning's had a beautiful run first up. A sizzling trial there. Clear selection for me.
Yeah, I agree. And he's got a really good second up record. He's had 4 goes second up here in Hong Kong and won 3 of them.
The other thing is, Andrew, we spoke before about the tactics of this race. John Size holds the key. He's got 5 in it.
Yeah.
So what instructions he gives to his jockeys, what the owners want to give John, instructions they want to give John with what they want to do with their horses is all unknown, really, isn't it? So it's hard to sort of guess too much exactly how it's going to be unfolding, but we know Hot King Prawn will be going to the front, I would think.
Well, that's given me time to do all the drawing on here. Hot King Prawn wins. Victory. This is the one that drops out. Just a complete mystery, really, I think, for everybody. Winner's Way, 50-50, and Born in China.
Yeah, I wonder whether maybe they'll try and be a little bit...
Mr. Stunning, of course.
A little bit more patient with Victory initially. See whether he can just get comfortable and find the line, because he hasn't been able to find the line here. He wasn't able to really find it that well over the 1,000. As I said, he did run second, but he only sprinted for about 50 metres before he came under pressure. I tell you what, Born in China's actually running some very fast sectionals late. We know he's probably a better horse at Happy Valley, and he'd probably like it a little bit further, but he got to the line well. I thought that was a really good run from Mr. Stunning, and 50-50 back to the sprint too. So, you know, there's plenty of ways that you can look at the race. On that performance, Hot King Prawn was faultless.
All right. Is he the one to beat again, Paul?
He's in the numbers. He's definitely stepped up. There's no question. He's improved this season and the horses game very well. But I think it's been a touch of deja vu. I picked Weather, who won the race last year, and I'm picking Mr. Stunning, who won this race last year as well. Another one I think's perfectly set for it. Beat the Clock, I think, can be the main danger. Another one with a great fresh up record, 3 from 3. Hot King Prawn, he's doing nothing wrong, and you wouldn't be surprised if he won again the way things are going. And 50-50 in for 4th. I think he's up to this grade as well. 2, 4, 7 and 5. I'd go exotics.
Yeah, I'm going to tip Mr. Stunning as well. I think he's drawn perfectly gate 5. He's only been beaten once second up. He did win this race last season from gate 10. He's drawn 5 here. Karis Teaton aboard. He should get the lovely run in the race. I think he can overpower Hot King Prawn with a turn at the weights. Beat the Clock's the real X factor for me. He could be anything, this horse. I don't think we've clearly seen the best of him yet, and he's been able to measure up against these sprinters and Beauty Generation last season as well. So if he comes back a better horse, he might blow them all away. And Victory, I've snuck him in only because of his pure quality, but he's got a lift on what he's done in his first 2, particularly his second start. Born in China, interesting to see what he can do in this race.
Yeah, absolutely, but yeah, it's a clean sweep for Mr. Stunning. He was on top for me as well, beating Hot King Prawn. That's how I saw the sprint rolling out. 2 more races to go then, 9 and 10 plus, all the best bets. That's still to come.